fellow Republicans, so I'm nominated Matthew Jensen. He's in our district 17. So the reason why I nominated Matthew, usually no one likes to be the secretary, but we lost ours very quickly in 17, probably because of my leadership. But Matthew quickly came and volunteered, and not only did he volunteer, but he's very ambitious. And he held me accountable and kept me on task, and I really was impressed with his tenacity and in the district when during the off term, as you say, there's really not a lot per se going on, but he's always at all the Ada County Central Committee meetings just there as a volunteer listening in. So anybody that wants to do that and volunteer gets my vote. So please support Matthew Jensen as secretary. Thank you.
All right, do we have a seconding speech for Matthew Jensen? Tom.
Well, as you can tell, I'm related to him. Matt and I, he's actually not my next closest brother either. There's actually four brothers and one sister. He's actually the youngest of them, but we seem to click pretty well. We spend a lot of time with each other. We go on road trips to football games when they come, and spend a lot of time. He's a great person, and why he should be secretary is even if he doesn't like someone, he still did what he had to do. He I won't get into details, but he has a very evil ex-wife, and even I mean, I'm not going to get it. I won't explain it, but I'll let him do that. But there's many things he still did, even though everyone would have said he didn't. Oh, you don't need to do that, because he had to, because he felt the obligation to, because he has the I guess moral obligation to. He still did certain things, even if it involved her, and he could have just said, "To heck with you," and as secretary, I believe he will do everything he's supposed to, even if he doesn't enjoy it or doesn't like the person or whatever. He will do things. He has a great moral compass, and he's a great person to know if you haven't noticed him before. He's the other guy in the blue and orange. I'd say vote for Matt Jensen.
Thank you, Tom. Why don't we hear the nominating speech and seconding speech now for Megan Richley. Graham Patterson.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to nominate Megan Richley. I want to speak with the respect and appreciation of commitment to and execution of duty. And this is Megan. I think we need to think about that, because we as a committee come together and we've had the opportunity to observe what those around us have done. And she has an amazing record of accomplishment. Let me just note that she has spent the last 2 years as secretary. She's also converted all the files to digital. 2 years, Ada County Roundup. She went as a Trump delegate to the RNC committee meeting. She's been a state delegate and also participated on the Rules Committee, Governor's Ball Dinner Coordinator, Campaign Assistant to Labrador, Fulcher, and Troyansky. She's manned the Western Idaho Fair booth and spent 2 years. For 2 years, she arranged the Lincoln Day VIP banquet. I think that speaks well to who Megan is and why we should support her again. She's very bravely stepped forward to do the job, and let's give her a hand and let's vote her to succeed herself. Thank you very much.
All right, do we have a seconding speech? Jim Sullivan.
My name is Jim Silsby. I'm at 1610. And a few years ago, when I showed up here and met Megan for the first time, it was very interesting to me how open and welcoming she was to me. And I didn't know her very well, and I've got to watch her over the last couple of years and observe some of the interest that she maintains as secretary. And as a nurse, as a mom, I have a daughter that's a nurse, so I'm part the nurses. So vote for Megan.
Thanks, Jim. Now we will hear from the candidates. Matthew Jensen.
Oh, geez, and I have to give somebody credit here real quick. It takes an exceptionally creative mind to mention Leah in this setting, but as I normally do when speaking before any GOP body, is that I still feel lucky to be speaking to you, even under these circumstances, really. I do have some experience, and I'm honored that some people think highly of me to actually nominate me for this job. I have experience seeing through really mundane things to the end, and I believe that will make me a good fit. I have some experience, always being at meetings on time, well prepared, and I know that will make me a good fit. I already have some experience representing this body elsewhere, and I've already demonstrated to be a good fit. I have been serving as the District 17 Secretary and have overseen a rewrite of the district bylaws along with recording them at the recorder's office, just right over there, for digging them out. I have taken time over the past couple of years to devote study to our county, and state party rules, as well as Robert's Rules of Order, in order to be more effective and better serve this party. I hope you agree that I will be a good fit as the Ada County Republican Secretary to bring this committee into a new era of a more conservative Republican Party. Thank you, and please vote for me.
Megan Richley.
Hi, everyone. First, I'd like to say thank you to Matthew, because I know it's tough in a contested race, and I know it's not the easiest thing. My background is I'm a nurse, as you've heard already. I work in administration in physical rehab, brain injury, stroke, spinal cord injury patients. But I'm also a mom. I started off as the PTA treasurer, the PTA president, the junior high PTA president, the football president for the boosters. I was the president and vice president of the Parent Community Advisory Council to the Boise School District until they shut us down because I asked them why class size doesn't matter. I've been very active on the periphery in multiple campaigns, and I really tried to step up my game because I really just got tired of yelling at the TV. My husband, of course, still yells, but he just supports me. He's kind of a silent type. I've had the opportunity to be the secretary here, and I'm very privileged and honored to meet a lot of wonderful people here and have a ton of experiences. I've been able, while secretary, to transform our paperwork from paperwork to a digital process. All of our papers, agendas, meetings, minutes, forms are all now in digital format and available at the touch of a button. That's why, for those of you who did get that, there was a link to a Google Drive. I really like to save the trees, but I don't want people to think I'm too liberal. Again, I just want to continue what I'm doing. I've really been excited with the opportunities that I've had here. And again, thank you for your support. I appreciate your time.
We will now ask our volunteers to collect up the ballots. And I will appoint two people to count the ballots, Ryan McDonald and Phil McGrain is still available.
I'll back
Phil, would you be willing to count the ballots?
Thank you.
All right, and while we are collecting the ballots and while our official counters count and double count, we will now open the floor for nominations for County Treasurer. Do we have a nomination for county treasurer? Vicki McIntyre.
Vicki McIntyre, 2109. I nominate Justin Collins.
We have a nomination for Justin Collins. Do we have a second?
Andrew Bowen, precinct 2203. Second.
I'm sorry, 22 what?
Andrew Bowen,
Yeah.
precinct 2203.
Thank you.
All right, we have a nomination and a second for Justin Collins. Do we have any other nominations for county treasurer? Seeing none, I will move to close nominations. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. All right, we have closed the nominations. As we have only one candidate, we will only hear from the candidate. Mr. Collins, please come up and address the body.
Thank you for the nominations, Vicki. Andrew, I appreciate that. It's an honor to be in front of you tonight. My name is Justin Collins, for those of you who don't know me. My background a little bit, I'm a native Idahoan from northern Idaho. I have a master's degree in business administration from Northwest Nazarene University. 14 years of military experience, 10 years of that was in active duty United States Air Force. The last 4 years have been at the Idaho Air National Guard as a logistics readiness officer. Over the last 6 years, I've been a finance professional. I've worked with personal investors with their investment goals. Then I moved on to Fortune 500 companies where I helped them with their investment portfolios. I had the opportunity to work with companies such as Facebook, UPS, Delta Airlines, to assist them in their investment portfolio and accounting needs. Most recently, I'm the financial analyst of Ada County Treasurer's Office, where I analyze county revenues, budgetary expenses, and investment returns there. I appreciate your vote tonight. It's exciting to see so many great liberty-loving Idahoans. We have a huge responsibility in Ada County, I believe, to be that shining beacon for the state and to really drive that liberty agenda. So I look forward to your vote. I appreciate it. Look forward to serving you all with the rest of the meeting.
All right, thank you, Justin. I will now move for the nomination of Justin Collins. All in favor of electing Justin to the position of county treasurer, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Congratulations, Justin. All right, we will now open the floor for nominations, the first of our 3 state committee people who will represent Ada County at the State Central Committee. We start with the position of State Committeeman. Do we have any nominations for the position of State Committeeman? John Vanderlaan.
Representative Vanderwater, I nominate Greg Birch, State Committeeman, precinct 2207.
We have a nomination for Greg Furch. Do we have a second?
I second. Brock Frazier, 1915, and current sitting State Committeeman.
We have a second from the current State Committeeman, Brock Frazier. Are there any other nominations for the position of State Committeeman?
Rick Embler, 4112, White County,
Sorry, who?
Christopher Stroh.
Thank you.
We have a nomination for Christopher Stroh. Do we have a second?
Lee Lay, 1514, I second that nomination.
Okay, we have a second for Chris Stroh for State Committeeman. Do we have any other nominations for the position of State Committeeman? All right, seeing no additional nominations, we will move to close nominations. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, nominations are closed. So since this is a contested race, we will do the same procedure. We'll pass out ballots. We'll hear from everybody. And All right, we have a result for the position for county secretary. Congratulations to Megan. All right, so while we have our volunteers handing out ballots for State Committeeman, we'll hear from the first nominator for Greg Furch, John Vanderwater.
Thank you. When Greg asked me to nominate, he says, no, you won't have to say anything, so I guess I better not say anything. But Greg has been involved in the political process probably longer than what I have, but I've always known him to be the guy who shows up and does the work. And that's better than what I've done as precinct committeeman, I know that, but I have a couple of different hats that I wear. But we can depend on him when the state committee meets, that he'll be there. He'll be the voice for Ada County. And with that, I would like you to vote for Greg